just got done with a practice with my 2011 gun, and I just wanted to do a follow-up video on the Glock 17 Gen 6 that I recently got. That might be my Carry Optics gun, Carry Optics Nationals gun for the rest of the year, starting in the summertime. I didn't bring its competitor that I'm going to put it up against, Tanfoglio Stock 2, but after Mississippi Classic, I'll bring both of them to the range and do a comprehensive, not real science, but I want to shoot the same drills back and forth, tally up hit factors, and see which gun I shoot the best, and then kind of just break it down from there to see which gun I would feel more comfortable taking to nationals. Also, I lied to you guys. I said that I wasn't going to change much on this thing just yet, and well, here it is. The gun has changed a little bit, not full on gamer. So here it is, maybe done up as much as I'm going to do it for nationals. My Glock 17 Gen 6 has now handle it grips, I think what's what they're called. It's like their fanciest option. One thing I might change later is I don't like their skateboard tape everywhere, because I kind of like leaving this loose a little bit. I don't like skateboard tape all the way up behind the beaver tail. Kind of like leaving the skateboard tape only where I need it, which is right here and right here. It has a Overwatch Precision minus connector. It has a 4.5 ISMI striker spring that I got from TTI. It has, which I'm really curious to test this out, I got a hold of ISMI and I wanted to change this to a 15-pound recoil spring. They come sprung at 18. When I asked them what I needed to get, they said I needed a Glock 19 rod and spring. So these don't take Glock 17 springs anymore. It looks like Glock is moving on. They did this in Gen 5, right? They were using the same recoil assembly for both guns, and it looks like they kept the same idea for the full size and the Glock 19, but now with a full length recoil rod, guide rod, whatever, and spring. So if you guys are wanting to get a different spring on your G17 Gen 6, it is a Glock 19 rod and spring. I'm using ISMI. It fits on there. It does function test just perfectly. Another change, and kind of the coolest change to me, is I got a different trigger on there. It is the silver and gold Overwatch. Come on now. You're gonna focus. It is the silver and gold Overwatch Precision tack trigger. Now, I didn't change any springs besides the striker spring and the recoil spring. That's it. All the other springs are remaining the same. I only got the trigger arm and trigger shoe from Overwatch Precision, and both the connector and the trigger arm are NP3'd, which El Gordo, my 2011, is coated in a similar coating, a similar nickel Teflon coating, which, if I might be getting this wrong, but I believe NP3 is the predecessor to NT7 Plus, and that's what Overwatch Precision claims that their connector and trigger arm are coated with. I do have a Springer extended mag release that's metal, because I am running these CSRG follower magazines. I get them from CSRG. They're 25+1. I got 25 in this one right now. It is a Metgar Glock magazine, a Springer base pad, I believe an ISMI spring, and their own follower. You can buy this kit from them. I got 3 of these now. If I take this gun to nationals, I will buy probably 6 total and make those my match mags. I got 2 more that I wanted to test out to see if they ran, and I also wanted to test out all the changes I've done on the Glock with you guys here, kind of on the clock at the range live. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to find out. So I'm going to move around some targets here, and the sun's kind of going down, so we're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. I've got 3 mags loaded up. We're going to see how it goes, dude. I'm excited to shoot this for the first time. Okay. So I have these targets here from earlier. So So now my angle's all fucked up. I was just shooting 2011s for practice, and now when I point, my dot is on the top of the window. I'm gonna have to drive that wrist down a little bit. No big deal, but I've got a target here real close. I just want to really test function. I'll do some real drills with this later, but and I got a little piece of steel. First shots with the 15-pound recoil spring and the Overwatch Precision trigger. All right, here we go. All right, these primers were giving me problems with my 2011 earlier, and I'm curious to see. Not a problem. I just had a backwards primer. This is my practice ammo. I don't really QC it. Not the gun's fault there, just the reloader's fault. So, all right, let's go again. Fed them all. Oh, don't have a holster. Well, it did function. The recoil was, I want to say, slightly better. How much better to quantify it? Man, not much. It did feel softer, and the gun is still tracking just like before with the stock recoil spring up and to the right a little bit. I will have to shoot doubles and really figure out where the grip pressures need to come from just to see if I'm doing it right or not with this Glock. So, all right, so that was magazine number 6. We're going to try the other new mag, which is number 5. See if everything works here. All right, so light primer strike. I might go back to the stock striker spring if this happens again, but this is why we're out here. We're seeing what goes wrong, what goes right, and you know, fucking with Glock perfection. And this is what happens, right? Oh. All right, I don't know where that one went, but I bet it was another light strike. There it is. Yeah, not a high primer. So I'm gonna put them in the mag again and see if they go with a second strike. All right, let's just see if they go with the second strike here, or if we get another light. Went off second time. All right, last mag here. I only have 3 mags full. That's all I get out here today. I just wanted to show you guys the gun in kind of action as it is. If I use lighter primers, I think I will have no problems. But if I just put the striker spring in it that was in its stock, I won't have any problems. So let's switch angles here. Once I figured out the grip pressure, I was nailing that steel that's about, I don't know, 8-10 yards away. All right, also that's kind of all I wanted to accomplish today. I wanted to see kind of testing the parts I've been putting in the gun. If I'm going to continue to use harder primers to save a little bit of money, I'm going to put the stock striker spring back in and just change. And the only part that it will be different is the connector. All the other springs are the same besides the recoil spring, but that doesn't affect hitting the primer at all. That's just for recoil. And I did like the recoil much better with the 15-pound. I'm used to a very soft pushing 2011, and this still feels like it. People were like, oh, it's the 17 softer. I'm sure it is softer compared to the Glock 19, but compared to my El Gordo 2011, which is a 58-ounce gun with an empty mag, and this will be maybe like a 25-ounce gun, 28 with an empty mag, I'm not quite sure. That's a big difference. So this one still feels very snappy, but it does come right back down to 0. I need to mess with my my grip pressures to see if I can get the dot go more center instead of up and to the right. But that might be how this thing recoils, which doesn't matter if it's going up as long as it, you know, keeps coming back to the same spot, right? Isn't what I would guess. That is it, guys. I just wanted to show you guys the progress I've had on building this gun out. Man, I like shooting this thing. I'll have to start eventually. You can over insert these when they're empty, I've realized. When there's a bullet in there, they don't over insert, but if you slam them hard, they won't come out with these followers. So, but when I have a bullet in there, they come out just fine. But these drop very easily. After Mississippi, sometime in June, I'll be picking a gun to take to Carry Optics Factory Gun Nationals in September. So it's either going to be this or my Tanfo, which the Tanfo is already built out. The only thing I would have to do there is get a backup gun. This thing was just stock, and I wanted to build it out a little bit, so that's why I have more time right now making content and kind of starting a little earlier. The other gun's already set. I would just duplicate that build with the Tanfo. But yeah, that is it, guys. Glock Gen 6 out here at the range. We'll see y'all next time. All right, I lied again. I forgot to do a little trigger breakdown for you guys if you're curious to see what this Overwatch precision trigger does compared to the stock trigger. All right, here is the trigger. Reset. Let's go again. So there's wall. You know, there's not much of a wall. It is, you can kind of feel a wall there, and then it breaks. There's a take up, break, and reset. I don't have it gauged or anything. I don't know what poundage it is. So, but yeah, there's that. I think it looks super cool. I like that color combo. The silver with the brass or gold safety. So now, that is it for me and this Glock 17 and Gen 6 out here at the range. We'll see you guys next time.